Welcome to the StarFleet Leadership Academy, where we are walking the sacred halls of StarFleet Command and learning leadership lessons from the life of Captain and Admiral James Tiberius Kirk, some of the moments that he had on the Enterprise, and so much a part of that Star Trek lore that we learn some leadership lessons that help all of us as we try to be better leaders, and also help us as we try to be better followers, because understanding the leaders and why they do what they do and knowing how to see a good leader, that becomes important. And it becomes important if you're ever going to develop that leadership skill that's necessary to lead others. So that being said, we've covered a number of things to this point in our study of leadership from the volumes of material out there about Star Trek. And so let me give you another one that is a leadership lesson that we learned from Captain Kirk, and it's simply this: make sure that you play poker, not chess. Make sure you play poker, not chess. Captain Kirk at one point looks at Mr. Spock in one of the episodes and says, "Not chess, Mr. Spock, poker. Do you know the game?" And it's a question that causes Spock to pause, hesitate, and then forces him to give an answer. It comes in the midst of an episode, and if you are a Star Trek fan, you'll remember this, where they are facing down a threat from a group called the First Federation. Threats from this vessel escalate until it seems that the Enterprise is going to be destroyed, and that destruction is imminent. And Mr. Spock is asked by Captain Kirk for options, who replies that the Enterprise has been playing a game of chess and now there are no moves left. Kirk, as only Kirk can do, counters and says that they shouldn't play chess, they should play poker. And he asks Mr. Spock, "Do you know the game?" And then what Kirk does is he bluffs the ship by telling them that the Enterprise has a substance in its hull called carbamide, which will reflect the energy of any weapon back toward the attacker. As though he's bluffing, it begins a series of actions that enables the Enterprise crew to establish a peaceful relationship with this First Federation. Now, chess as a game is fun, and I like chess as much as any other chess fan likes chess, even though I'm a terrible chess player and I don't have the patience, nor do I have the time to sit down and play chess because it just takes too long. But chess is often taken too seriously as a metaphor when it comes to leadership strategies. I've been in a lot of leadership conferences where they've said, you're playing a strategic game of chess as you lead. Let me just be honest with you. One of the lessons that we learned from Captain Kirk is that there is a shelf life on the time that you have to make a decision. And while I would like to think in a perfect world, if you're a leader playing chess and you're being strategic and long-term, that would be helpful to you. But let's just be honest, if you've ever led anything, you know that sometimes a leadership moment is better attuned to a game of poker than it is to chess. Because in poker, you have to strategically make your next move, and life is always a game of probabilities. And sometimes you have to think beyond just that two-dimensional thinking and that strategic long-term thinking, and you have to play with the cards that you have in your hand. If you go back into the movies in Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan, that's how Kirk was able to defeat Khan. Khan had a very predictable two-dimensional way of thinking. Kirk, on the other hand, bluffs and begins to work on something that Khan couldn't possibly know or hadn't possibly thought of, and then is able to run that bluff into a position where the Enterprise is going to come out victorious again. Someone will say, well, so you're talking about a good leader playing poker and bluffing? Bluffing's lying. No, I didn't say lying. Bluffing's a part of the game. And it's not lying from the standpoint as you are trying to conceal your next move and get someone to anticipate what that move might be, hoping that they guess wrong or don't see it coming. So you're not lying. A bluff isn't necessarily a lie in that context. It's a strategic part of a game that leaders often have to employ. You have to take a look at the cards that you have in your hand, be willing to play the moves that are available to you, and if you don't have the moves or the next play in place yet, sometimes you hold those cards close until the next option opens itself up, and then you find a way to be successful. That drives chess players crazy. Poker players love that part of the game. Captain Kirk, as a leader, was great at playing poker. Even though he played that quasi-dimensional chess game with Mr. Spock, it was Captain Kirk's ability to take the hand that he had been dealt and get the most out of it that time and time again meant success for the Enterprise. A good leader can't have a perfect world, and a good leader can't always do anything except do something with the cards that he's dealt. But when he does, or she does, amazing things will happen, and they can lead successfully. And so, if you have a choice, play poker. Bypass chess as a leader. See how it happens. If you want to lead like Captain Kirk, that's what he would have done, that's what he did, and it worked. It'll work for you too. I look forward to walking with you down the halls of StarFleet Academy next time as we continue to learn leadership lessons from the life of James T. Kirk.